Welcome back to our studio in Berlin. Game 4 is about to get into Champion Select between Misfits Academy and Schalke 04. And you can see Misfits there concentrating, deliberating, discussing how they win this next game.
Sorry, I was just trying to even up the difference here, just like Schalke have tried to with their first win in this series.
Oh, that was great. So happy with that pardon.
Because Schalke, that was looking better out of Schalke. I'm glad now game 4, we can see both of these teams maybe at their top potential here, because this is what Schalke were doing very well. They're going aggressively into the jungle, contesting everything, bring in Selfie, get the kill, and everything is looking a lot better in this game. And Misfits Academy tried to make plays to offset some of this, but it just wasn't enough. I don't believe they actually ended up taking a tower at all in that last game.
Yeah. And I think a lot of it does come back to draft, and as much as you can't say draft lost them the first 2 games, when you give Schalke this draft that plays a little bit better in the early game and can capitalize on enemies' mistakes with the Talia, with the Camille, with the Malzahar for the lockdown potential, it just works so much better for them as a team.
It does, and we were talking a lot about how Vando would be, you know, an experienced player when it comes to setting off a lot of these engages. So much of it actually came from Lulex, Selfie, and Vando walking around as almost a 3-man stack, like just roaming around and getting any kills that they could. And Smitty J was kind of the benefactor of everything, because he got far enough ahead, he could just push any tower down he wanted.
Well, Vanda said it himself, you know, focus at getting that top laner counter pick, focus at getting a strong jungler. That's exactly what they did, and it paid off for them no end. And I want to come back to Misfits Academy, because I feel that we tend to talk about the team that's ahead, which is what you tend to do when you're casting a game. But Misfits Academy now, how did they work around Schalke actually realizing where Schalke's weakness was originally?
Ooh, that's a tough one, because I think Schalke's weakness was a lot to do with like how they were utilizing the drafts that they played. So it's a little bit on the coaching staff, but I also think that like Misfits Academy, if they go back to comfort side of things now, if they end up with the Kha'Zix or the Rengar, I don't think Graves is a bad pick for them, but I think it's a little more hands-off. I think they need to be the proactive team and kind of fight Schalke a little earlier on. I mean, a lot of LCS pros with their eyes fixed on this game, because of course one of these teams may end up joining the LCS, talking about how Pridestalker, I believe it was Perks, tweeted that Pridestalker was one-shotting LCS players with Rengar when he was 13.
Exactly,
so, I mean, it's always deadly if he ends up getting it, but I doubt it's going to happen.
Exactly. And on the other side of the coin as well, Vanda had an interview in the middle of the Challenger Series split and said he thinks that Upset could be the new Sven. You know, you've got great players, standout players from either side. Selfie has always been up there along, you know, probably A tier rather than S tier of European mid laners. Smitty J has consistently been a good player, as has Lulex. So as much as one side of the coin says Misfits Academy have these great players, the other side of the coin also says, well, Schalke can match them.
Yeah, I mean, Wonder on PGL was talking about how Schalke, in his mind, were, you know, contending with that middle of the pack LCS squad, talking about how much better they were. And of course, like 2 LCS teams may have to face one of these teams. Well, will have to face one of these teams in the promotion tournament, because that is what is on the line here. A win in this series puts that team into the promotion tournament alongside currently Origin.
And Origin will not have the choice of which team they face in that promotion tournament either. Whoever gets knocked out of Group A will, because Origin cannot match up to the match differential between the 2 teams. So Origin will face whoever the team from Group A thinks is the better challenger team, which across the split, you have to think is the winner of this. Because even if Misfits Academy win this, it shows they're better than Schalke.
Right. And Schalke was the team that everybody said, oh, beware Origin, everything's going in that way. Well, if the memes are to be believed, Schalke will be able to reverse sweep this series. But if the gameplay from average over 3 games is to be believed, Misfits Academy have a lot to say about that still.
You can average over 3 games, or you can average over an entire season. Stress. And if you look just at the last game, Misfits Academy didn't take a single tower. Schalke took 8, which is a lot better than their average of 5 towers for 1. But still, Misfits Academy have shown us that they have the opportunity to sometimes play better than Schalke.
Let me cherry pick stats.
Okay, well, you do that. But we all know there are lies, damn lies, and statistics.
Let's just go for confirmation bias. At the end of this series, we'll say we said it the entire way.
Results-orientated decision-making, right? Yeah, so Misfits Academy won the first 2 games, so they must be the better team. Schalke won this one, so they must be improving better over time. That's how it works. Malzahar, 100% win rate in the EU Challenger Series playoffs, so he is OP. That's how our
That's true. That's true. So is Rengar.
I don't think Malzahar is as strong as he used to be, but still does give you that go button, which is exactly what Schalke needed in that last game.
It changes things from being we're the team waiting and reacting to, okay, now we're the team flashing in, getting the engage, setting up the fights, and that's where Schalke have looked a lot more comfortable. As much as, you know, we see teams win with Ezreal Victor, probably not good to do if you're just going to lose the early game.
Definitely.
I figured out what it is. Look at the hair, Lulex. He's gone Super Saiyan.
He's been Super Saiyan the entire series.
No, but he's like now pushed it. It's like in the wind.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, that's not a surprising
Trying to get power range is in the 9,000s or so. Now, Schalke have banned out the Rengar as we start this one up. At least once again for Misfits Academy, really don't want to face up against Lulex on that. At least he played it the last time these two teams met and was devastating on it. So it's
Camille
not
banning
too much of a surprise. You really think Camille ban?
I
first
think
rotation?
it's either a ban or a first rotation for Misfits Academy. I think it ended up being too good that unless they're going to play the Renekton into it, I think Misfits Academy should get rid of it. Previous games, they've got rid of Gragas and Ivern in on the red side would be the third ban that comes through.
I wouldn't be surprised, in all honesty, if Camille gets let through a little bit more, because that Renekton counter pick is available, and because I'm not sure Schalke will pick it up in the first rotation, but I might be shocked, I might be wrong. Lulu is the first ban, and Malzahar actually taken away from Misfits.
I like that Mal's ban. Likely would have been a first pick coming through from Schalke. Now Schalke kind of look at other areas. Supports Lulu. Mal's are now gone, so maybe a Zyra, but I don't know whether you first picked that at this point. You look to the top lane if they want that Nautilus. I know it's away from the Camille, but you could Camille here as well.
Things like Kha'Zix are still available, Lee Sin. Tahm Kench actually a priority for Misfits thus far. It's been picked up for Schalke this time out.
And Tahm Kench has been a great champion for supports like Vander who want to playmake, get themselves across the map and set things up in their favor. So I like it out of Schalke. They deny it from Dreams as well.
This draft with the Tahm Kench pick is looking a lot more like the drafts that Schalke won Week 5 with. They had that Tahm Kench in both the games, Elise in both the games as well, which Misfits Academy is obviously respecting with that Elise ban. The Karma lock in here for Misfits is reminiscent as well of that era. So this feels to me much more like Misfits Academy are starting to go back to what they did in the actual Challenger split.
Lee Sin again here then out of Schalke would make sense. You could go Kha'Zix is the other one. But I agree with you, going more towards what we saw out of them week on week.
I hadn't seen it fully before.
See, that's what I meant.
I could see what you mean. Windswept. Windswept.
And if it's Lee Sin again, I think that's goes in favor.
It's apt.
He's been charging this up now for 4 games.
Takes you a couple of games to really, you know, get those Dragon Balls, charge yourself up. I never actually watched Dragon Ball Z as a child.
So that's about as far as
we could go with that analogy. But now Schalke looking for their final pick. There's a lot available here. You could pick safe mid. You could pick your AD carry if you wanted.
Talia works. They got it. I think that's a good setup. So there aren't too many matchups that Talia can get punished with. I mean, you push out, you're looking to snowball other lanes. You're not necessarily working for yourself, but I was going to say, if there's one thing that Talia can struggle with, it's all-in and mobility, and that is exactly what Cosq wants to bring.
Yeah, and the one time Cosq played Katarina in the actual split, he went 8, 4, and 17 in his game, so he is very adept at working his magic with Katarina. Camille banned from Misfits Academy on the second rotation. No real surprises there. And now we'll see what Schalke want to focus out. Could be the AD carry role. Could, of course, be top as well.
I think if you ban away top laners here, Misfits Academy are in a rough spot. As you said, also, AD carry, but both teams are still looking for their AD. So Ezreal, Caitlyn, Jhin, all available. We've seen a lot of Caitlyn and a lot of Ashe is the other pick we've seen.
Yeah, Yuki's played Ashe in every single game, I think, isn't he? I believe that is the case.
We're both double-checking now. Yeah, he has. Misfits Academy have played Ashe in all 3 games.
It's going to be the top lane focus here, though, with the Rumble ban away from Jisoo. He had such impact on that game 1. Next up, I would not be surprised at all if we saw Nautilus getting taken off the cards here.
I think it's a solid ban here. I also like, or I would normally like Misfits, this Ashe ban. Thing is, Misfits Academy clearly not prepared to first pick here. They want to get priority over the blind pickable top laners, I suppose.
It seems a little bit odd because you have the option to counterpick your top or pick an AD carry second. And with the Gragas off the cards, Jisoo's really falling back to the Nautilus here.
And look at what they're doing. Like, Schalke taking away the AP top laners and forcing Misfits to only have basically one real source of magic damage in a Katarina. That if Kat falls behind, is not going to have that kind of impact in fights, right? Like, yes, she does obviously snowball incredibly heavily, but it's not reliable.
And sometimes it can be difficult to get on towards that Talio as well. It's going to be the Nautilus pick here for Misfits Academy, picking a safe top laner. They know there aren't really any main counters available. Even Renekton struggles at times in that matchup.
We may still see the Renekton come through, though. A backline AD carry right here. Jhin will have a lot of distance away from this Katarina, and if we do end up seeing something there's like Maokai Trundle that could be played. Smitty J is a known Trundle player for a long time. Vizichachi from the Unicorns of Love has played it into tanks and wouldn't be the worst of matchups. Oh, we were looking for a lane to snowball. Well, there's one for you. We saw this attempted in the LCS by, I think it was Fnatic this past week. No, it was Roccat against Fnatic, and Roccat ended up losing in game 1.
That's a great Kled pickup, and it's going to be the Ezreal finally here for Misfits Academy. I'm a little bit worried for Misfits because of their inability to actually CC someone to crowd control them. Really, they only have the Nautilus for that, and then you've got the Tahm Kench Devour. So usually I was worried with the Jhin pick because they can get jumped on really easily, but having the Tahm Kench there provides you a lot more safety.
Oh, I'm worried for Misfits Academy here. If CosQ doesn't snowball, their only real damage source for a long time in this game is going to be Pride Stalker, but that's a big if. You've got to try and stop this Talia going over to the Kled lane and denying that kind of snowball from topside.
There's such speed as well from Schalke 04. You've got Abyssal Voyage, you've got Weaver's Wall, you've got the Charge, which you have to say that way, I've been told by the Riot Overlords. So it's the same with Gnar. You have, if it's got an exclamation mark after it, you have to say it like that. Super Mega Death Rocket! They're all exclamation mark abilities.
I didn't know that was the thing.
Yeah, as a color caster, you wouldn't really need to think about it too much.
I guess not.
Play-by-plays have to think about it, and you know what you guys need to think about? Tweeting in at us with the hashtag EUCS. If you think Schalke 04 will take us to Silver Scrapes in a Game 5, it's hashtag S04 win. If you think Misfits Academy will close it out and take their spot in the EUCS promotion tournament, hashtag MFA win. Gonna get on to Summoner's Rift in just a second. Stress. You're worried, are you, for Misfits Academy here?
A little bit. We've gone the other way on the draft, although CosQ and his Katarina, you mentioned it, has played it before, had a good game on it.
8-4-17 is a pretty diabolical game. Can be destructive and devastating. It'd get you an S+ in most solo queue games as well, which is the important thing, of course, getting those mastery points.
I don't think that's quite what the players have on their mind of being on the line right now, since a win in this series, Misfits Academy, if they pick up this one game, will make it to the promotion tournament. Opposite, potentially, Origin, who have already been put in that promotion tournament spot. Schalke still need 2 games to get there.
Well, for Schalke, this is just a normal, regular day EU Spring Split, Challenger Series Spring Split, isn't it? You know, need to just 2-0 an opponent. They've done it 5 times before. Perhaps they can do it once again. Misfits Academy will be looking for that final elusive win that was so close to their grasp. I think if I were Misfits Academy, I'd be slightly bolstered by the fact that last game, they didn't get ahead and lose. You just lost the game. It's not like you had a lead and you were this close and then it fell through your fingers. They just lost the game. So here, they can reset, they can rethink, and they can try and just shut Schalke down.
Selfie came bot just to try and harass down. Of course, we'll have that passive to move back up to mid lane quickly, and that's one of the reasons why you can do this. Of course, Ignite on this Katarina, Selfie opting for Exhaust, Vanda opting for Exhaust. It's almost like Cat needs a lot of damage to, or like puts out a lot of damage and ends up resetting.
As much as there have been exhaust nerfs, we still see it into like Zed, into Katarina. Double exhaust is so good.
Still good against mages, because the damage reduction part of it is still absolutely worthwhile. Another thing that is going to throw a spanner in the works in this is oddly the Kled up against the Katarina at times, because obviously Kled has a moment where he becomes untargetable and won't take damage as he jumps off Skull. So there is that moment where SmittyJ will be prolonging fights, and also has that bear trap. So if Death Lotus does go off, you can pull the trap.
Takes a little bit of time to set that trap.
It does.
Make it a little bit more difficult, but they've got, you know, Seismic Shove, you've got Kick, you've got Vanda who can devour up an opponent as well, or devour someone caught in the Death Lotus. So there are many ways for Schalke to deal with that Katarina.
Look at what Selfie's doing here, is started the recall to try and, I don't know whether he was faking going back from the lane, but at least he's dropping back to try and defend. Doesn't really feel confident enough to like take any of the Raptors. It's early on, so doesn't want to steal that much experience from Lulex, but nevertheless, trying to keep Cosq guessing where he is in the lane at all times, trying to defend against Pride Stalker.
It stops Pride Stalker being able to go in for those Raptor steals as well that we've been talking about so much. So much XP just on those small ones. Even if you can take 2 or 3 away, you can really slow down the enemy jungler. Both junglers pathing down towards the bottom side. Looks like Lulex is doing a slightly slower clear as he begins just to set up around his red buff. We do have a pause coming out. We'll find out what's going on exactly here as we wait to get back on into the game.
I think I can give an update. Upset was frantically kind of pulling his mouse. I believe it's a mouse issue. We'll wait to get that officially
we'll get it confirmed. We know it is a Schalke pause, and Upset does look like he's switching some things out, so we'll have to just wait and see to make sure we know exactly what's going on. But what's going on in this early game? Not much at the moment, Stress.
Not much, but it's still, that's to be expected. We're only at level 3. We've not had any shenanigans. It was a mouse issue with Upset. Gives a wink to the camera. He's trying to showboat.
Well, just the wink caught me off guard, in all honesty. I'm used to being the one winking at the camera rather than being winked at. And Upset's still obviously confident in the fact that Schalke can win this. After the last game, I think you would be. They played incredibly well. If you were to predict where the early action is going to happen, or if any early action is going to happen at all here, Stress, are we waiting for level 6? Are we waiting for Selfie to be able to roam around the map?
I'm thinking top lane. I'm thinking Selfie and Lulex are going there for this Kled to try and kill Jizu. Nautilus in the top lane. We are heading back into the game in just a second.
There we go. Straight back on into the action. Nostradamus, you are today, Stress.
I got told by production we were going back in.
Mate, you need to keep the mystery. You need to keep the magic of esports alive. Well, Misfits looking for a bit of magic of their own as they try and take down the giants that are Schalke. But Schalke fighting back in that game 3, have taken us to game 4. And now, once again, have drafted a composition that has a little bit more in the early game and perhaps can fight up against this Misfits Academy squad.
Bear trap accuracy, not really that great.
It's not a bear.
That's true.
That's the problem.
Probably doesn't have that much effect, really. I mean, I know...
It's like trying to crush metal. It
exactly,
really work,
exactly. Well, I mean, there's like a whole... Anyway, bear trap, not the best thing for that. Schalke, however, seeing if they can set the trap for Misfits Academy in this bottom lane. You can see Lulex Upset was taking damage, trying to trade, just be like, bait them in, everything's okay. But doesn't actually result in anything.
Misfits do have the pushing lane and down towards that bottom side, though, and it's something we've talked about time and time again, is the ability for junglers to get some deep vision in, to track their enemy jungler, using these pushing lanes for quicker reactions from their teammates if they go for something aggressive. Here we see them just pushing back that Jhin and the Tahm Kench, which is to be expected, and they're not actually able to do much around it yet. Yeah,
of course, Tahm Kench, especially early levels, doesn't really have any ability to counter any push. Lulex going in aggressive topside, may not have wanted that, but gets out alive.
Jumps away. Koski's going to come in from the side as well, but this is the power of Talia. You can track someone across the wall.
I was going to say may not have wanted it, but I was looking at what the wave was. Despite Selfie still having quite some way to go to push Koski back, Selfie had moved out of the lane first. It wasn't necessarily about the minions on this exchange. This was more about where the players themselves were. SmittyJ is going to take this trade because he knows he's about to go untargetable.
He's got the pocket pistol as well if he wants to try and trade back in. Tries to build that courage back up.
Lulex.
Lulex has flash. Flash.
I was predicting the flash. Yeah. It looks bad. That looks bad, but there's going to be one time where his opponent flashes.
Play,
exactly, and you pre-predict it. I
do that with every thresh hook in games. My teammates are like, oh, you're bad. It's like, no, they could have flashed. They
were going to flash. It was going to mad life. Don't worry. Don't worry. I'll get him next time.
Jisoo TP's back into the top lane, and Smitty. This is the thing. Something we see a lot with Gnar and with Kled is their ability to regenerate health in the lane. However, Jisoo's going aggressive, and Smitty's just going to have to jump away. Can't get away from the dredge line, and of course, Flash might have to be used here by Smitty J. Gets underneath his tower.
Oh.
Jisoo can't quite chase him down.
Just not quite enough to kill Smitty J. That was a little fortunate with his skull timing on that one, but Jisoo nevertheless TP back into lane. We'll see whether Smitty J opts for exactly the same. Yes, his TP does get channel. Going for lane dominance and damage. Double Dorans, double longsword. Kozku trying to kill Selfie. Might just get him.
Ignite comes out as well, and Selfie's going to tick, boom, down. Kozku gets first blood.
Well, that was going to be the worst thing that could happen for Schalke if Kozku gets the 1 versus 1 kill against Selfie. Selfie couldn't stop the damage coming from Kozku. Doesn't flash out early enough, and Selfie ends up dying. That is the snowball they did not want to see.
Unexpected as well. Selfie's been the mid laner across the split that has really had these 1v1 outplay moments. He's been the guy showing up big. Kozku's been much more reserved, playing Cassio, playing Ryze. Here, really shows up on this Katarina. Let's have a look at it again.
Yeah, Kozku jumps to the first dagger. The second dagger even clipped Selfie, and that was the difference. Selfie didn't get away from all of that damage in time. Kozku just punishing that mid lane matchup. We talked about how picking this Talia early does have a couple of tough matchups if there's a burst mage that is able to do that on the other side. Kozku plays that exchange near flawlessly, gets the kill.
Lulex has managed to gain himself a level advantage over Pride Stalker at the moment, and it's coming up towards the top lane, perhaps to see if he can catch out Jisoo. Bear Trap and a rope will pull him back. Upset eaten up. Yuki and Dreams are going to go aggressive here because Vanda's going to get locked up. Does have the thick skin. Yuki's low on mana, so can't go for the all-out engage, but he's going to keep chasing. Dreams flashes in. Doesn't quite take down Vanda. Exhaust use heal as well from Schalke Null Fear. Yuki's going to continue throwing out those mystic shots.
Oof, both teams taking that trade and not really respecting the flow of damage through that. Look at top lane, Pride Stalker's on his way.
Yeah. Depth charge comes out. Yeah. It's an interaction we haven't really thought of. That's great. Depth charge away from the depth charge.
Yeah, that's one of the...
Can't catch me.
One of the reasons why we've started to see this Kled a couple of times, as we said, we saw Faxi trying to play it up against Soaz to a losing effort, unfortunately, but Kozku wants to snowball bot side. Vanda and Upset too far pushed up here.
No vision on Kozku. There is an exhaust up for Vanda. Kozku's going to jump in. Devour comes down. Kozku keeps going with the chase. Vanda's low. The thick skin's going to go down, and Dreams will take the kill. Kozku dives, though, onto Upset, trying to bounce his way around. Just can't get enough. Upset will take him down and now open up the curtains. Get taken out with the True Shot Barrage. You stand still, I'm sniping you down, says Yuki, and escapes the Sonic Wave.
Oh, that was unfortunate for Upset. They thought that with the damage that Lulex would be able to continue, but Upset didn't take into account that Yuki still had his ultimate, and as soon as he entered that curtain call stance, it takes too long to break it. And Schalke on the back end of that. This has been good roams out of Misfits Academy as Schalke go aggressive. Kozku is on the way down already, so Vanda knows that he's basically doomed. Has to flash, get the Devour. Good timing on it, and the exhaust comes out. Vanda does everything that he can do here to stay alive. Upset does a great job as well, stays alive, and just I laughed. I probably shouldn't have laughed. But
you just don't think of it in the moment.
I wasn't thinking about it, and as soon as it came and casted to the bottom side of that, Upset. That's got to feel bad.
Upset probably didn't think of it either, because Yuki hits level 6 off the kill onto Vanda and gets enough mana from that as well to be able to use the True Shot Barrage.
Oh, that's painful. That's just fortunate in favor of Misfits Academy, and you can see now they've got a decent spot to be in. The Katarina still has picked up that kill now, has 2 assists on top of it as Misfits Academy. This is more like game 1 and 2, dare I say.
Yuki's going aggressive once again, has the Sheen, as the tier stacking up. Pride Stalker is waiting around the corner, but this is Misfits doing what they need to do to force Schalke behind, and we heard it in the pre-series interview, Misfits saying sometimes if Schalke fall behind, they don't react that well to being in that situation, to being on the back foot. Vander's definitely on the back foot here as he tries to spit upset away. The True Shot Barrage will come out. He tries to use the thick skin to survive, but Misfits Academy are going to continue to chase down. Collateral damage doesn't hit.
They didn't kill
Dreams
him.
is tanking the tower, and they have not killed Vander.
They didn't get the kill. Vander this time is able to do enough to survive. CosQ forced away from a mid lane fight, and Misfits Academy again trying for a bot lane play, doesn't quite pay off. Lulex has had a lot less impact in this game than Pride Stalker, which is the opposite of game 3 of this series. But Schalke, they haven't lost enough for this to be looking completely like game 1 and 2 yet. They still are in a decent spot.
Exactly. And this is where the patient play we saw from them in game 1 and game 2 will pay off once again. They just need to take a step, take a breath, say, look, we can reset this game. We're not far behind at all. It's only 800 gold. And they'll know that. Like, as much as they can't see the exact gold figures, they'll know they're only a couple of kills behind. They'll know they're not far,
telling him no.
too far behind on CS. It should definitely be telling him no, because at the moment, he's just dead. Lulex tried to flash, tried to jump the wall, cannot do it. The curtain call opens up as they look for the snipe onto CosQ, can jump over to Yuki. Great team play there.
TP coming in from behind though.
Safe. TP
Misfits
in behind
undone.
Cancelled straight away. Second one cancelled as well. That's smart because there's a Weaver's Wall possibility from Selfie.
Yeah, Selfie had just used it out behind. It was as the TPs were coming through. I believe he was trying to box Yuki and CosQ into the lane. Nevertheless, on this one, Misfits Academy continue to extend their lead, this time finding Lulex on the aggressive path. Lulex hadn't really cleared out all of the vision control there with the rest of the team, so Schalke caught on the wrong side of the river. Now they have to run away.
We talked about Smitty J being on a carry, and we alluded back to Vander's interview. He's got the Kled. We haven't seen a huge amount of Kled across the split, and it seems very difficult to actually lock down exactly what the point of Kled is in this matchup.
Well, there's a couple of things that Kled theoretically should do later on. He is a decent split pusher and flanker, and that is one thing that Schalke can work and build around. Also, you saw the interaction with the Nautilus is one part of that. The interaction with Katarina and her resets is going to be another part of that. So it's not necessarily a pick that specifically is like, it's going to crush Nautilus late on, because Naut gets very, very tanky.
Much more for the team fight, for that team play that we saw so well out of Schalke in the last game. They're 1,000 gold behind as we enter the sort of middle portion of this game. Laning phase still going on. No towers really being chipped away at either by either of these two teams, but neither team really has a great tower push.
Misfits are coming bot again, looking for the setup. If they can get CosQ in.
Still no flash for upset. It'll be up in just a second. It'll be up actually by the time any fight begins. They've got river control, although there's one ward just spotting Yuki out as he steps up forward. And there is a Drake on the cards. It's an Earth Dragon, which is Mountain Dragon, which is quite important, especially for that true damage to later dragons into the balance.
Smitty J is already down here in the mid lane though.
Charging underneath the tower, he's going to get back around, but CosQ will just dodge away. Bear trap on the rope will not connect.
Actually gave him the escape route.
I think that moment it needed the silence we provided it. It needed that space to breathe as a play. But that's the problem with Kled. If you commit, you're going in.
Yeah,
you can't cancel that ult.
Not a lot of space for Schalke though.
Oh,
Vander's ult got cancelled.
Has to flash. That's a big summoner spell.
Yeah. One of those rescue functions now not quite so available for Vander. Flashing forward, we've seen it a couple of times where Dreams has saved Yuki or Pride Stalker and engages on that Tahm Kench, so no longer there.
And that's river control as well succeeded, because you can't step forward with a Tahm Kench doesn't have that flash available. They've got an okay ward control in a moment. Schalke have one or two that will spot out any dragons. It's been a pretty tense and slow game. Misfits Academy are taking a little bit of a lead, about 1,500 ahead, 1,300 at the moment. But across the board, pretty even in every single role. No big CS discrepancies.
I must say, though, that my confidence in Schalke's ability to bounce back in-game is quite heavily rocked. Looking at games 1 and 2, how they played around what should have been a turtle in composition, I feel like even a slight lead for Misfits Academy is putting the pressure on Schalke now to do what they couldn't do in games 1 and 2. And that's not something we thought would be a worry for this Schalke team because they were down against PSG, they came back into it. They were down against Misfits Academy in game 2 of their best of 2 and came back. Not in games 1 and 2 of this series.
It's where discipline comes into it as well. You know, Schalke talked about it. They said we're a disciplined lineup. We know what we need to do at what parts of the game. Their shot calling is a team affair rather than a single member calling it. And perhaps that's what cost them the first couple of games, because when you're behind, it's very difficult as a team to make shot calls. Everyone goes quiet. Everyone's like, oh, I need to focus on winning my lane. Jisoo and Smitty are going to trade here. Pridestalker is on his way up as well. The depth charge comes out. Smitty J will flash it. Still gets knocked up.
But look at bot side, this is where the play is really happening for Schalke. This is what they need to do, and this is the kind of play that we had seen Schalke make throughout the regular split when behind, where it's defend on one side and make a play on the other. You don't want to go aggressive on both of these, and Smitty J knows that. That's why he's flashing away early, getting away from the situation, and Schalke have already taken tower first blood. Maybe now they can go mid lane and look for something, or at least the dragon. I forgot that it was available as Lulex is taking it down.
Getting the Earthdrake is great. Misfits Academy will trade it for a tower in the top lane, but a little bit slow on that. They lose out in just pure value of the objectives because it's a 2-for-1 in favor of Schalke.
Yeah, 2-for-1. Now Selfie can just get away from this. Vanda eats them up. Another defensive tool against this Katarina.
Coscu did use the Death Lotus there, didn't use the Ignite. Jisoo's looking for the side flank on this because there is Pridestalker on the way. Yes.
Not so good.
But there's no depth charge. There is no charge either as that gets stopped. Pridestalker's just coming behind where the tower used to be. And Smitty J is caught between a rock and an anchor. Don't think he's going to be able to get away from this. Pridestalker will get him down. Misfits Academy 5-1 up.
And this time Schalke don't have anything to react with. The True Shot Barrage comes through. Yuki clears out the range minions, and Misfits can hold on to the tower. What they're doing here, though, is putting Cosq out in the side lane, basically hoping Selfie is the one that comes out to him. I don't think they're going to keep Cosq in the side lane for like the entirety of the game, because while Cat can move from lane to lane quickly and can 1v1, so much of this comp is based on getting those kills in the fights and resetting, as always with the Katarina composition.
This just felt like overextension from Smitty J more than anything.
It was. Just after we praised him for playing defensively on the one side as the rest of Schalke make a play on the other, everybody else on Schalke isn't making a play. Smitty J is trying to play forward in the lane and ends up getting taken down. He knows it at this point, but this is where this fatigue plays into decision-making as well, right? We're now in game 4 of a 5-game series. TP's coming through. We're going to go into a fight.
Yeah, Jisoo looking for the flank. Deadly Flourish will land and lock him up. It's the Nautilus. Very tanky, even with Smitty J teleporting in. Not sure they chase this down. Bear Trap on the road comes out, as does the Curtain Call, but Misfits Academy are just going to back away from this one. They retreat. There is a Weaver's Wall trying to lock out Dreams. He'll get caught on the wrong side. Flashes over it. Curtain Call doesn't connect, and now actually Misfits Academy might look for the re-engage. Jisoo came back in. Here's Cosq, jumps in, exhausted straight away. Death Lotus, Cosq's dead. One will fall in response as Schalke continue to look for the trades. They've got two. They've got Skarl, and Smitty J will joust his way away, jumps over the wall. Lulex does aggro the Rift Herald, and actually Misfits Academy might continue to look for this, but Schalke somehow get out alive and take down 2.
Key exhaust and then crowd control came out from Schalke onto Cosq, and you can see how difficult it is for a Katarina to go in when all of those tools are available. Both exhausts look like they got used at almost the same time out of Schalke, which is excusable because it saves the fight for them. We'll take another look. They box Dreams in, Flash comes through to get Dreams out of the fight, and they drop the wall, which allows Misfits Academy to actually reposition. Cosq's already half health at the beginning of this, jumps onto Upset, instant devour, great health from Vanda, exhaust was on, and Jisoo dies. It was Jisoo that had taken so much damage throughout the entirety of the fight, and Misfits Academy could not continue.
Look at how low everyone is on that team as well. If that exhaust hadn't come down straight away, you're losing at least 1 or 2 members. Cosq still had his Ignite as well at the end of that fight, so decided not to go in all guns blazing, but this is Schalke's decision-making, this is their shot calling, and you wonder whether Misfits needed to take the fight. It felt perhaps like they may have overstepped ever so slightly. Smitty J's going to chase in here. There's a teleport behind him, though. Cosq's going to try and dodge around the Abyssal Voyage use. Cosq's going to go down towards the bottom side, but Nautilus, Jisoo decides he doesn't want to be there because Schalke had 4.
This is the thing is, Katarina can 1v1 Selfie. He cannot 1v1 Smitty J, and Cosq just didn't really predict that situation well enough. Smitty J is strong enough that he can auto-attack him down a couple of times, and that spells the end.
And this is Schalke's decision-making really coming to the fore. Misfits Academy overstepping ever so slightly. We've seen Coscu getting caught out, and this is where Misfits Academy really need to step up their game and understand how they want to play into Schalke.
Yeah, and there's some key items that I think Schalke will end up getting that will really help against this Katarina. I'm anticipating at some point a locket coming out from Vander, get that shield for the team. Obviously, Redemption, core item already there as well. The same kind of thing. You preemptively, if you can get it down as people are starting to lose their health through that exhaust, the timing should just about work out. Then you get the Zhonyas for Selfie at some point. Upset has enough with a Devour to keep him alive, and Smitty J will end up getting a Guardian Angel, and you really run into a difficult time for Katarina because she's very unlikely to get fights within the rotation of those items being on cooldown for a second time.
That's what we were saying in picks and bans to some degree as well. Coscu's the AP threat here for Misfits Academy. There's a lot of magic resist being built up on the side of Schalke 04. You just said, I didn't actually see.
Gone low damage for Misfits.
Yeah.
It's Iceborne Gauntlet, Ezreal. Everybody recently has been opting towards the Trinity Force. Iceborne gives you great ability to kite. Does give you decent damage on your Qs, but that really is just about it. It's a lower damage build that you need to supplement with damage from elsewhere, which would be great if it was reliable and not a Katarina. Like, Kat can carry the team fights, and if Schalke make a mistake and don't have an exhaust available, then Kat will win the fights for them. But on their own, very difficult for Misfits Academy. Like, now the exhausts are back up. Schalke are safe again.
And Misfits Academy just wondering how they take a fight as well.
Yeah.
Smitty J pushing up in this side lane. Jisoo can counter push, but can't really deal with the Kled. Has got a Sheen for himself. Now Smitty rotates quicker, of course, because he has that charge if he wants to get around the map.
I think the other difficulty about Iceborne is that there's so many ways of Schalke closing distance quickly that you're not really kiting a Kled or a Talia or a Tom Kench
or Tom Kench.
Lee. Yeah, there's a lot.
You can kite the Jhin, yeah. As he pops the Curse and Core, you can stop him from moving
Don't
from
worry,
that spot.
as he's 2,000 range away, you could. It could still work.
It makes you a little bit tankier as well if the Kled does get on top of you. Gives you
does.
perhaps another second or so to try and escape.
Extra, CDR.
Yeah.
It's not like you get that from other sources anyway.
Schalke once again going for their second dragon of the game. We've seen in games they win their objective control. It's just that much better. They took all the dragons last game, took the Baron, didn't lose a tower here. They've lost one, but are still looking pretty darn dominant. Jisoo's going to get caught out by Smitty J. The rest of Misfits are trying to respond, but the Weaver's wall comes out. Selfie actually on the wrong side, gets taken out. Misfits Academy take one in response. The depth charge comes out. Here is the curtain call. Jisoo trying to flash away the heal. Use and Dreams flashed in the way of the curtain call shots. Smitty J now on the retreat, backing away, can't do it. Coscu gets one. He's looking for two. He's looking for three. He's looking for more, but Misfits Academy can't quite get close enough. Flash in. Coscu, Lulex dead. Now the Death Lotus upset. Not going to be able to get away unless he flashes. It's a triple for Coscu, and the Katarina pops off.
There's the mistake out of Schalke, and is it the mistake that kills their summer split LCS hopes? Because Misfits Academy are moving to the Baron. They're 2 games up in this series, and a costly mistake. Coscu will find upset.
It's an ace. Coscu gets an unofficial quadra, and he has been unstoppable this game. The Baron's gonna go down for Misfits. This is only the 5th Baron Schalke 04 have ever lost in the Challenger Series, and it might be the last Baron they ever get to contest.
And this was how the fight started. Schalke going on to Jisoo, and you can see Selfie got pulled off the wall right into 3 members of Misfits, didn't take it all the way to the end. The shots from the curtain call are doing nothing at this point from Upset, and they're trying to get the rest of the team out, but look at it. Low health first reset. Low health off the second one as well, and it's only a matter of time. The exhaust is early. They're trying to create as much space, but the flash into the bouncing blade. Coscu with the Death Lotus opens it up. Vander didn't get the gray health, and Misfits Academy are in full control of their destiny. It looks to be almost inevitable that they'll take down Schalke.
Inevitable it may seem, but we have seen so many twists and turns today. Misfits Academy taking the first 2 games with the
Smitty J's
first shot
overextended.
of the day. Smitty J might get collapsed upon here by Misfits. I'm not sure they get in range. Pride Stalker's going to jump the wall, but they've just forced him back. They're looking for towers. They're looking for gold. They're looking to get themselves too far ahead for Schalke to contest.
Yeah, they have to just weather everything that Misfits Academy are throwing at them, and Schalke right now, it is not looking hopeful. 7, 3, and 2 on this Katarina. Gunblade, Zhonya's, Void Staff, Sork Boots, 10 stacks on the Dark Seal. CosQ has been trying at this since spring 2015. And again, he's on the cusp of the promotion tournament.
He's been here before, though, and it has not paid off for him. Let's have another look at this mid lane. CosQ jumps in onto Selfie. Just takes him down.
Gets him.
It's great.
Ignite takes
CosQ
down. Vander couldn't get there. No flash on Vander.
It's interesting you mentioned CosQ's score as well, because before that fight, I had written down a point saying CosQ was 2-1-2 at the start of the game. He was then 2-3-2. And my expectation was Schalke being able to play around him well enough for him to go like 2-5-2 at the end. He's now 7-3-2, picked up 5 kills very quickly recently. The Weavers will come down just to try and split the team. But Smitty's on the wrong side. He jumps over the wall with the charge, and here comes the redemption. Yuki in the backline still putting a lot of hurt down as Selfie gets destroyed. It's a double for CosQ. He's going deep. Misfits are looking for this one. They'll get another tower. They have broken Schalke down.
That's the inhibitor going down in favor of Misfits Academy, and they've gone from being in full control to having a hand already on the promotion tournament spot. They are taking the inhibitor. 25 seconds on Selfie from undefeated to out of the promotion tournament. Misfits are closing in on killing the Schalke dream.
CosQ jumps in once again. The Death Lotus is the death knell for Lulex. The first Nexus tower falls. The second the target for Misfits. They're gonna take it down as well. CosQ's legendary and Misfits Academy are gonna take the game. I cannot believe what I am seeing.
Misfits Academy, it's just the Nexus in front of them.
Selfie and Smitty trying to stop them, but Misfits cannot be stopped. They'll take the Nexus, they'll take the game, and they'll take it 3-1.
Against all the criticism, against all the predictions, Misfits Academy, 3-1, have shut out perhaps the best performing challenger lineup we have ever seen here in the European Challenger Series, and in what a statement series to do it.
I'm just shocked, in all honesty, especially with that last game, because Schalke looked like they were playing as Schalke do. Schalke looked like they had it, and Misfits Academy said, not today. Today is our day. They came up, they rose an inexperienced team, and today they have shown their mettle and shown why they deserve a spot in that promotion tournament.
Pure elation as the final moments went through for Misfits Academy. That's got to feel good. Everybody counted you out already, and you show up on the day. The first 2 games go convincingly your way, and game 4 is the most competitive of the series, and you take the win.
Just superb play by Misfits all around, and they came back straight into it. So much mental strength from them to be able to take down Schalke 04 when, in all honesty, after Schalke started to win some games, it looked like it was done and lost for Misfits Academy. It looked like they had lost the momentum in the series, which can play such a big factor.
And this will send shockwaves through, because Schalke with the lineup everybody had said were destined to be on the route to a showdown with Origin. Everything the Schalke organization has put into Challenger over the last split after being relegated is all for just a summer spot in Challenger Series, and it's Misfits Academy that have earned their way.
And I have to come back to Pride Stalker as well. He played so well in those first 2 games. In fact, in 3 of the 4 games, he went unkilled. Just dominant play by him, incredibly impactful from that jungle role. He had Lulex's number on so many different occasions. CosQ as well. It seemed like every game a member of Misfits would step up and say, okay, today's this game's my game to show myself. This game's my game to prove that I deserve a spot in those LCS promotion games. And they're looking like it's the cusp of glory for them. A lot of these players have been waiting around in the Challenger Series for a while. Look at Yuki, look at Kozku. They've been waiting for their chance to reach those big leagues, and it's just around the corner. Commiserations, of course, to Schalke. Many experienced heads there. I'm sure they'll be able to take on the loss, take on board what they need to change, take on board how they need to play next time they meet up in one of these playoff spots. But today it is Misfits Day, and it's just such an incredible game. An underdog story through and through, you have to say. There's a lot still left on the cards, though, for the Challenger Series. This split, of course, we have next week Paris Saint-Germain taking on Fnatic Academy. After that, we've got a week off, and then we've got the promotion tournaments coming up as well. I cannot wait for more games of League of Legends, and I can tell you who else cannot wait. It's Misfits Academy. I'm sure they're coming off this one with a true sense of joy and jubilation. A word I wouldn't usually use when it's just talking about playoffs, but this was such an upset that I think it is a well-deserved word indeed. I believe in just a couple of moments we have an interview with a couple of the Misfits Academy players. Stress is getting set up for that at the moment, which is why you don't see the Hobbit standing next to me. For now, it's just my pretty face that you're going to have to deal with. But once again, we come back to Misfits Academy and say, just well done. Great performance by them all round. Their draft was strong. Credit to Unlimited there. Credit to all their players, especially Jisoo as well, who at times looked under the pressure of that top lane. You saw Smitty J consistently getting kills with that Camille. Jisoo was able to step it up and play perhaps some slightly unusual picks for him as well. We tend to see him on the Nautilus and the Gragas. He moved across to a few different picks, and just it comes back to the thought that, especially in League of Legends, especially in esports, there's no person who is definitely going to win a game. You know, sometimes we look at SKT and we say, oh, you know, SKT will definitely win. They can be upset. Schalke showed that today as Misfits take the win. Well, for more on Misfits winning a spot in the European Promotion Tournament, Stress is on stage for an interview with two of their players.
Thank you very much, Medic. Very profound words at the end there. You can never count a team to have a certain victory, and I think Pride Stalker and Kozku, who are joining me here for an interview after the game, are examples of that. Congratulations on the win for the both of you.
Thank you.
Very hard-earned victory, a very solid victory. Pride Stalker, I want to start with you. Your first time here looking for the promotion tournament. Game 1, you get Rengar. Game 2, you get Kha'Zix. How much does it mean to you to put on such a good performance on some of your key champions?
I actually didn't expect it, that we would win against Schalke, because it didn't go that well for us. But turned out we do, and I'm really happy with how it went for me.
Of course, very, very happy with the win here. Puts you in touching range, perhaps, of the LCS. Kozku, we've been in this situation a couple of times, right?
Yeah, that's true.
I've had the pleasure of casting you for 2 years. Katarina, last game, with one win left to take out Schalke.
Yeah.
Was that always going to be the play style for you guys? Like, put everything on your shoulders, or was that your personal decision?
So, like a lot of players know that I play a lot of Katarina, especially in solo queue and also in scrims against teams. I like to pick Katarina, even in like third pick. If I see the enemy mid lane, I'm confident that I can play Katarina into like champions that doesn't have much CC, then I will just go for it no matter what.
Certainly worked. A lot of help from the rest of your team. We saw Schalke perhaps at times crumble in their decision makings. Were you expecting that, you two? Have you experienced that facing them before?
No, we have like when we scrimmed them was like with our old jungle Lemma Bear, but it's like a really long time ago, and then we've never scrimmed them ever again. So we didn't know what to expect, but we knew that they were a better macro team than us. But I also knew that if our early game went really well, because in other scrims against other teams, if our early game goes well, we can win games. But if our early game goes bad, it's a bit hard for us.
It's a bit hard. Well, yeah. the man to your right here has showed up your guys' early game very well. Pride Stalker coming into the team. Week 2, there's a big effort on your shoulders. You're a young player. A lot of people have watched your path from your early days on Rengar. Talk to me a little bit about what it means coming in so quickly to the Challenger Series, from being eligible to now being at a spot where you're one series potentially away from the LCS.
Well, at first I was really nervous, because knowing I had to play Challenger Series for the first time with like no experience. So the first games I played went a bit hard, because like my nerves go up. But now on stage I didn't feel nervous at all, and it was nice. I don't know why.
Didn't look like it. I mean, you went 8-0 on one of the games, so no nerves. Are you now nervous, like looking forward to the LCS? Anything like that?
Not right now. I'm just really happy we won because I didn't expect it.
Yeah, certainly very happy. A lot of people had the predictions going the other way. Cosq, finally, I want to ask you now. We've got Origin already locked into the promotion tournament.
Yeah.
We obviously still have next week PSG versus Fnatic Academy.
Yeah, that's true.
In your experience, who do you think is going to be in that promotion tournament alongside Misfits Academy now?
It's really hard to say. We scrim both teams, so and they're both really good at macro. It's like it's kind of the same story. Like but I think it's like the chances of Fnatic Academy against PSG. I think it's 50-50 honestly. Like both teams are getting better, and both teams have roster switches. They had roster switches, and for both of them, it's getting better. So I really can't say who's gonna win, and I think it's like 50-50%. Yeah, 50-50.
50-50, you heard it here. Thank you very much, guys. If you just stick with us for just a couple more seconds, we're going to take a look at that schedule for next week's matches for Fnatic Academy versus PSG. The showdown between Yellow Star of PSG and his old organization of Fnatic Academy. A lot on the line there. We've already had one massive upset now with Misfits taking down Schalke 04. Anything could happen. Join us on Sunday, 26th of March. It's going to be a great best of 5. But for now, we're going to say goodbye for the evening. We've got LCS coming back on Thursday. Thank you very much for joining us, and thank you guys for a great series. Congratulations again on the win. Misfits Academy, 3-1 on the series.
Thanks.
Welcome back. Hello, Jisoo. I love you so much.
The second one does. Here's the shockwave. Miasma comes down. White Stalker might go in. Cosq solo, but gets first blood. He's going to die to the... No, he's not. Oh, Cosq! Behind the tower now, Dreams puts the exhaust down onto Lulex, and he's going to be taken out once again. Misfits Academy are on fire.
Here, hey, Caitlyn no flash. Caitlyn no flash.
Get nose.
I read.
Now Schalke on the back foot, just trying to run away from Misfits, but the tank is in reverse gear. Just cannot hold it back. Smitty J is dead. Misfits Academy's dreams are still alive as they go 1-0 up in this series.
Smitty J just let Jisoo go all the way through mid lane.
Depth Shot's going to knock him up, and Dredgelight's going to pull him back, and Jisoo's going to die. First blood, Schalke not fair.
We can kill? No, we can kill.
Listen, no flash. Listen, no flash, no ulti. Listen, no flash, no ulti.
Nice.
Okay, save. Nice.
TP gets in. The team doesn't survive as Cosq takes him down, and now Lulex the target. He's dead as well, even with the TP. Schalke seems to have lost this fight already, and they're going to take out the second Nexus in this best of 5. It's Misfits Academy 2-0.
I won a 0-2 before, so it's possible, guys. Don't lose hope, okay? Never lose hope. Yes, we can win.
Smitty J tries to put the ultimatum out, but Pride Stalker is there in time and will get first blood. Misfits take him down.
No flash castle. Nice, Smitty.
Look to push in towards it. The Nexus is falling, and Schalke take their first game against Misfits Academy.
Cosq trying to kill Selfie.
Death Lotus Ignite comes out as well, and Selfie's going to take a boom down. Cosq gets first blood.
Nice to choke, guys.
Oh, I can ulti.
It's okay.
Smitty J is caught between a rock and an anchor. Don't think he's going to be able to get away from this. Pride Stalker will get him down.
Nautilus is fighting.
In back in, here's Cosq, jumps in, exhausted straight away. Death Lotus, Cosq dead.
Fight together.
For the trays, they've got Skarl, and Smitty J will joust his way away, jumps over the wall, bash in, Cosq, Lulex dead. Now the Death Lotus upset, not going to be able to get away unless he flashes. It's a triple for Cosq. The second the target for Misfits, they're going to take it down as well. Cosq's legendary, and Misfits Academy are going to take the game. I cannot believe what I am seeing.